So, right as I thought there would be no new inventions for the longevity of this year and everything newly developed would be pushed back towards the next year, I don't think I could have been any further from the truth. Brought to my attention extremely recently, like 10 minutes ago. There is a survival game that is currently in the playtest at the moment for everyone to have access to. This game is something I have not yet seen or played before, setting-wise, and although some systems and mechanics may appear very similar to us, or some of us, the overall experience of this game will prove you otherwise, because it did it for me. Taking place in underground research facility, which is, by the way, that right there just has me sold immediately. You are basically caught between this paranormal experiment failure. You are basically trapped between what's real and what is not. As mentioned before, you are trapped in this god-awful situation, and your task is to survive this so-called experiment of yours. You get to explore a bunch of different worlds packed with just a bunch of different monsters and creatures. And given the opportunity that this is a survival game, you are able to craft different structures and barricades along with some different variety of workstations or even traps. Every world contains unique threats and perhaps different types of resources for you to use and discover. Whether you want to leave a certain world behind and discover something completely different, the overall task is for you to settle in and make a new home for yourself and your friends, whichever world it may be. If you thought that was the coolest thing this far, oh, you're here for a treat, my friend. Do you notice anything about the game visually? This game is giving a strong Half-Life vibes to those who would remember. These developers could have easily gone with something more polished and realistic, but that would be too boring, wouldn't it? Let's bring back the visuals to something many gaming veterans would remember, right? That was sort of their mentality. For instance, Half-Life. If this doesn't ring your nostalgia bell, my friend, I don't know what will. Thank you for bringing this up to me in the first place. You better believe that I will be playing this game until the playtest is basically closed or just over. I'm not butthurt over the fact that this is more of a co-op experience more than anything. As you may notice, many titles that do run on one specific given server, they may encounter some issues along the way that have nothing to do with the game itself. And in my opinion, the best way to experience the game is to play it as it is rather than trying to connect to a server instead, as you may have noticed what's been going on with the day before. At some point, you know, when games get developed and at some point they implement servers to others, there is nothing wrong with that. That's actually a really good idea. That's the best way to experience a multiplayer game. However, with that being said, when the game just gets released, I think pushing it straight onto a server and have everybody join one specific server, the game could be perfect, but you may encounter server issues and then will force you to believe that there's something wrong with the game. But once again, it's only a playtest. This is co-op, which means it runs on one dedicated system rather than one big server. I'm excited. I'm about to lay my hands even more on this title. I'm extremely excited. Half-Life has been my universe for a very long time. It's been a part of my childhood for a very long time too. And I think that's what makes it kind of like funny, unique, nostalgic, and just cool as shit. This was your boy Roos, and I'm out. Goodbye.